Welcome to this free workshop in how to create motivation to be fit forever. I am Tracy with Tracy Lynn Life Coaching, and I'm assuming that you're here because maybe you've started a fitness program or you want to start a fitness program, or maybe you're like me, somebody who's been a yo-yo fitnesser for quite some time and you're just ready to stop the yo-yoing and want to just finally be fit forever. Well, for whatever reason, you were meant to be here. So I am honored that you are taking the time out to actually do something for yourself. The fact that you are here and are willing to learn how to really harness the motivation to make yourself healthy and affect yourself, but not only yourself, everybody else around you is something that you should be proud of. So if you don't already, please grab a pen or a paper because pen and paper. I want you to consider taking notes because taking notes through workshops really helps for you to retain the information. There isn't a workbook that comes with this free workshop. So please take pictures of any slides that you would like and then do the journaling activities after the workshop. They're really important. The questions that come up on a slide, go ahead and take a picture or write down the questions and then make a commitment to yourself to go back to them and consider the journaling. What you're going to learn here today is the psychology behind how habits are formed, why it's challenging to create good habits, and the magic formula behind being fit forever. So for those of you that are new to me, as I said, I'm a life coach and I specialize in helping women create their best lives for the second half of their lives. Most of my clients are over 40, not all, most, because people who are 40 or over have different challenges than people that are younger because we've simply had more time in order to create limiting beliefs. We've had more situations that have happened in our life that really have rocked our confidence. And so generally 40 plus, we're at just a different level and require a little bit more attention than somebody who's younger. But if you're somebody who's younger and want to live your best life as well, then go ahead and check me out. Today, we're going to be talking about being fit forever because being fit, or even just the action being taken to move your body and to feel good, is one of the best things you can do in order to raise your confidence. And you might be asking yourself, well, what makes you an expert? My credentials are that I have a master's degree in counseling studies. I'm certified through the Life Coaching Institute of Orange County. I've got 7 years of being a life coach and helping hundreds of people live their best lives. And I've worked 4.5 years at Robbins Research International, working for the best peak performance coach in the world, Tony Robbins. So those are my credentials, and I do not want you to listen to me because of them. I want you to listen to me and my advice that I'm giving you here because I have done the work that I will be teaching you in this workshop. So not only have I helped other people effectively create motivation, but I've done it myself. So the methods that you will hear isn't something that I think will work. It's not something that I hope will work for you. It is something that, if done correctly, will work for you. So let's just take a little bit of time, 2 quick slides to tell you why we're even here today. Because if it wasn't for my story, I wouldn't have discovered the Fit Forever formula and we wouldn't even be here together. I like to say that if I were to write a book about my journey to being fit forever, it would be called The Serial Starter, because I would always start something and not finish. I was literally a serial starter. Like this person in the picture who's like, heck yes, I'm ready. Let's go do this. That's how I would always start. And I'd go to a class or go to the gym or some kind of fitness goal that I created for myself. I do it for about 4 to 6 weeks. And then I find myself making excuses as to why I didn't have to continue doing it. I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy or money, or work is just so busy, I don't have time for this anymore. And I'd end up just looking like picture number two, which is feeling awful and low energy, and also subconsciously not feeling very good about myself because I knew all of the excuses that I was using was not accurate. But excuses always make us feel better. Anytime we say, well, I can't do that because I don't have the time, or I can't do that because work's just so busy, that just simply means that we're not making it a priority, because we always make time for the things that are a priority. And this was me. I wasn't making it a priority. And so the excuses, they just always help us feel better. It feels better to say that than to say, I'm putting my health on the back burner. I'm putting the thing that I know I need most on the back burner so that I can go off and do something that really doesn't, like, I'll go overwork myself. How's that? Just doesn't really make any sense, but it's the thing that we do. And then when I did that to myself, I really started judging myself, because the more and more I did it, I did this for about 20 years. I'm 50, almost 52. And so when I put this into place, when I started my serial starting journey, I was that was like 25 years ago. And so since then, I would start and stop, start and stop. And every time I stopped, I had just this subconscious judging of myself. Like, I can't do it. I failed. I failed again. And I failed again and again and again. I don't have what it takes. I'm not like them, those people who are like really fit and have all those really great habits. They must have something magical that I just don't have. And the judging was really mean to myself, but it was there, and it was there for a long period of time until I'd start again. Then I'd start again, and then I felt great. And then I would stop. And then I felt like the person on the slide who looks like she's low energy and really judging herself. And this was a loop that went around and around and around. And I had a feeling, over those 20 years that, if I just had the right strategy, if I had the right thing, the right class, the right piece of equipment, the right thing, right? The strategy in order to give me that motivation to stay. It's clearly the class that I'm taking. It's clearly the piece of equipment that I'm using. It's clearly the gym that not working for me. And this is just an example of some of the things that I have tried over the years. Tybo. Okay, so this is really aging myself. If there's anybody watching this who remembers Tybo, Billy Blanks, okay, our gym in our area started doing that. And so everybody was on board, including myself. But when that didn't work after 4 to 6 weeks, then after a little while, I went to step class and then Pilates. And then even this skate slider. Who remembers the skate slider? I had it in my basement on the cement floor, and it was great. It really does work. For me, it was 4 to 6 weeks, lost motivation. Elliptical, treadmill, I've done it all. And when I talk to you about what it is that switched it all for me, you're going to think to yourself, well, that's so easy and so elementary, because that's what I thought when I finally realized, what is it that I'm doing wrong, or what can I be doing differently in order to change this? I'm not a fitness instructor, so I can't tell you how to perfect a squat or how to hold your plank for longer. But what I can do is teach you about the psychology, and to have the right mindset and the right belief systems that are going to lead you to becoming fit forever. Because quite frankly, your success in reaching any goal, but especially a fitness goal, is 80% mindset and only 20% strategy. And your mindset is made up of the beliefs that you have about your success, or the thoughts you have, and if they motivate you or sabotage you, the identity of who you need to be to just keep showing up for yourself every day. That's the mindset. And only 20% of it is psychology, is, excuse me, strategy. How do I do it? And so I was living for the past 20 years in that it must be the strategy. So that was the first problem that I had. And eventually, when I thought I had the right strategy, what was the second thing I would do? What most people do, they start creating their goals. This is a little bit about, what strategy looks like. My goal is to lose 30 pounds and have 5% body fat. Or maybe it's to lift a certain amount of pounds. Or maybe it's to hold a plank for 2 minutes, or to run a 10-minute mile, or to do 20 push-ups in 1 minute. Whatever it is, most people create a goal. And I love goals. I think that goals are really important, but it's not the only thing. The goal and then the strategy. Here's what I'm going to do, and then this is how I'm going to do it. And that's how most people create their motivation. It's what they think is going to give them motivation. And it's proven time and time again that if you are this person and you have succeeded simply from creating a goal and then getting a strategy, then that's outstanding. But then you probably wouldn't be here if it was that easy, learning how to actually be fit forever. You know, my background of the 20 years, I told you about all of the things that I had been doing. And what really changed everything for me, how I was able to snap out of it and just finally get what it was that was holding me back, was that one day I was driving in my car. And it was a few years ago, it was like 3 years ago, and I was 49 years old. 50 was quickly approaching. And up until that year, I felt pretty good about celebrating my birthday. But for some reason, turning 50 really hit different. And I started thinking about how much time I have behind me compared to how much time I have in front of me. I loved my life. I didn't want to die one day, but for some reason, I couldn't stop thinking about dying. I couldn't stop thinking that. I don't know why I never thought about it until now, but I am really getting close. In every day, even as a coach, I was a successful coach back then, and I couldn't coach my way out of it. My brain was just like going to a place that really caused for me to feel anxiety and stress and depression. I would show up for work, show up for everybody else every day. But then after work, I would just hang out on my couch in my poor me attitude and my flannel pajama pants. I mean, it was really a sad situation. Until one day I was on Facebook. And on Facebook, they have the time hop, where if you were doing something and you took a picture of it or you posted about it at Facebook, the same day that you're looking at Facebook today. So if you're doing that thing in the past, it shows you, hey, look what you were doing on this day last year. I came across that a time hop that showed me and two of my friends. And one of the friends in a picture was a dear friend of mine who was a wife, a mom, a grandma, and a very cherished friend. Just an amazing woman who had died of breast cancer about 4 years ago. And it really hit me like a ton of bricks. It hit me so hard when I was sitting on the couch with the poor me attitude in those pajama pants, that I was sitting here being, oh, boo-hoo, poor me, which was so disrespectful to my friend who would do anything to be here today, to play with her grandkids, and to love life the way that she did. So in that second, got recharged. I was recharged more than ever. It's been 3 years ago, and I still feel so much energy about my life when I think about her and all of my other friends or family who are not here today. And if thinking about them doesn't light a fire under you, then I don't know, you might be thinking about it a little bit differently because we have different meanings that we put behind things. Like my friends or family aren't here, and that makes me very sad. And so we're living in a place of sadness. Or you can use that energy and say, because they're not here, I'm going to live for them. And I'm going to have a dream life and do everything I ever wanted to do. I took that picture and I framed it, and I call it the brick effect because it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I look at this picture every day. It's sitting in my office. My friend Lori, who had passed away, is in the middle, and my friend Jean, who is on the right, she is somebody who survived stage 4 breast cancer. And here I am, never having to deal with anything like that. And I feel so blessed where these two beautiful women have gone through so much. Well, never again. I will never feel like I need to be on the couch feeling sorry for myself again. So I got motivated again. And then I got not only motivated for life, but motivated for being 50. And I decided, in order for me to live my best life, I want to once and for all become fit like I've always wanted. I never gave up. I just kept stopping. Serial starter. So I finally want to be the person who starts and then just starts and just goes and goes and goes and ends up being somebody who really triumphs over past struggles in her life and do it for my friends and the others that can't be here. So here I was back in the start position again. It's a lot easier to say that you're going to get back at it than to actually do it and see it all the way through. It was a comfortable place for me to be in the start position. Starting was always motivating, but I had a new inner drive to really succeed this time. So I took a step back and I had to ask myself, okay, what specifically is it that is causing me to lose motivation after 4 to 6 weeks? I've tried all the things, all the classes, different equipment, all the buns of steel videos I could find. And I would create a plan, and I knew the results I was looking for, but what was really causing me to lose motivation? I really needed to take time to think about this. So forget the excuses because they weren't even realistic. My brain and my subconscious brain said, well, you didn't have enough time, remember? But I knew that wasn't true. I had the time, I had the money, I had the energy. So what is it for real? I wasn't seeing in front of me so clearly what it was. So I really took a step back. I took a long time to think about it. What is it? What is it? Because if I don't get past this, it's just going to keep happening over and over again. And then it hit me. It hit me again. The brick effect, pretty strong. I knew what it was. I wasn't seeing results fast enough. My goal was to lose 20 pounds. And because it didn't happen quickly, I lost momentum. Heck, I would take, 5 pounds, but I wasn't seeing that. And so I lost momentum. And my mindset was, well, this must not be the right class or the right equipment or the right video. But the truth is, I didn't have patience. I didn't have the right expectation, and I didn't have the right drive. So I knew that I had to have a new goal. It couldn't just be that I wanted to lose a certain amount of time by a certain date, or excuse me, a certain amount of pounds by a certain date. It couldn't be that. There's something else. There's something in front of that had to do with patience. And then I realized what it was. I just need to show up. I don't want to have the pressures of weighing myself and seeing if I'm losing weight quickly. I want to measure myself based on if I'm showing up to the class, if I'm showing up for myself. Consistency in showing up, because how do we reach our goals? And no matter what it is, if you want to run farther, if you want to lift more weight, if you want to have more endurance, if you want to lose the pounds, you got to show up consistently, not just for 4 to 6 weeks. It's consistency that is the key. That as soon as I heard myself say it in my head, I knew that that was the goal that I needed to have. And then the second question that came up for me was, okay, so how long do I show up before I start focusing on like my real goals? So I did my research, and I did research and found out that it takes 67 days of consistency for a behavior to become a habit. So if I could just get past the struggles that my brain has of always wanting me to give up because I'm not seeing results, and it takes 67 days to create that habit, then that means after 67 days, this is just going to be easy because I've had all that consistency. And when something's a habit, you no longer really need to think about it. It's just something that you do. So all that mental energy drain that I had from, day 1 to day 67, I didn't even make it to day 67, really. I mean, I say 4 to 6 weeks, but it sure did feel a lot less than that because it wasn't 67 days. So I decided I'm not going to do just 67 days. I'm going to do 90 days. My goal is going to be 90 days of consistency, and that's the only thing I tracked. And there's no doubt that if you do something for 90 days consistently, you're going to see results. You're going to get some kind of results from that. And I did. And I did pay attention to that, and I did notice it. But anytime I had the urge to like maybe weigh myself, I said no, because that's not my goal for the first 90 days. When you are consistent in doing a physical activity, then what's happening is you're literally forming new neural pathways in your brain, literally changing the pathways in your brain. And if you're not consistent, then the pathways stay the same, which led me to the couch or led me to doing anything else but working out. But when you have the consistency, the neural pathways actually lead you to want to work out and to show up for yourself. So great. Okay, so great. I have my new strategy, which because you've learned here, and you may have heard other people say it too, that the strategy is only 20% of my success. My strategy was consistency. Great. Now I need the right psychology, because it was also the psychology that was keeping me from moving forward. And as we know, psychology is 80% of your success. So what are we going to do? I got to figure out what psychology I need in order to really make this stick this time. So as a coach, I already had an idea of what kind of questions to ask myself. I'm just going to coach like I was coaching somebody else. Like what I have done for others over and over again. I just coached myself, and I sat down with pen and paper and I created my mindset plan. And I followed through with that plan. I started at a gym, started going to Farrell's. I only counted on consistency, and guess what? It worked. I'm still going today. I still feel like I'm going to be fit forever, and it's been 3 years. So now here I am with the evidence, knowing that what I did can help you. And I want to show you now the mindset things, how you can use your mindset and consistency in order to reach your fitness goals. So what we're going to go over now is 6 steps to creating motivation and using your psychology to gain momentum and motivation, to feel proud and to become fit forever. Number one, your why. Go ahead and take a picture of this slide or write the questions down. This is a really important slide. You may have heard time and time again that in order to reach any goal, you must have a really solid why because it's the driver that keeps you moving forward. And the brain is driven by two main things. It's driven by avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. And so when you go through both of these columns of pain and not changing, and then the pleasure in changing, you will know right away which you're most motivated by. Are you mostly motivated by the pain in not changing or the pleasure in changing? The questions about not changing is how will you feel 6 months from now if you don't stick to your fitness routine? What will it cost you? What's it already cost you? How will the people in your life be affected if you don't change this? And what's already been the biggest consequences to you? And then the pleasure questions. Well, what will your life look like when you do change this? And how will the people around you be affected? Go through every one of the questions and really ask yourself and give yourself enough time to really think about it. I want when you're going through these psychology questions, I would invite you to find a really nice comfy place in your home or maybe at a really nice warm coffee shop, wherever it is that makes you feel really comfortable. If it's at home, maybe find some candles and maybe a glass of wine or a really nice hot tea, and really allow for this to be a self-care moment when you're going through each one of these things. The why is the number one thing. Again, after you create both of these, the pain and not changing and the pleasure in changing, ask yourself, which motivates me more? Most people are motivated by the pain of not changing. However, I do have a lot of people that are also motivated by the pleasure of changing. Okay, number two, choose to live in the gray. Okay, where's my black and white people out there? Where's my black and white thinkers? For people who aren't really aware of black or white, you may, after hearing the definition, recognize that you are black and white and you didn't even know it. Black usually indicates failure, and where white is usually success. And what leads black and white thinkers to sabotage themselves is, well, I wanted to start on Monday, and since I couldn't start on Monday, well, I guess the whole week is just messed up, so I'll just start next Monday. Or I'm really on this really great health plan, but today I had a piece of chocolate, so I really just sabotaged myself. So I might as well just eat chocolate and horribly all day long. The black and white thinkers think they're perfectionists. So I have to get it perfect. And if I don't get it perfect, well, then I'll just forget it. And that kind of mentality is something that will keep you from being consistent. You can see, oh, I missed the day, forget the whole week. Or if you miss the morning workout, then it's like, might as well just skip the one in the afternoon too, as opposed to living in the gray. Because the gray is where resilience lives. The gray is where learning and growing lives. Because then you have a new way of thinking about things. For example, if you miss your morning workout, then if you're living in the gray, you'll say, it's fine, I'll catch it tonight. Or if you were going to start on Monday and you miss Monday, it's fine, I'll start tomorrow. But not giving the excuse to go, well, everything's just out the window, so I might as well just continue to eat the chocolate or wait for some other time. That really gets in the way of consistency. If you have the chocolate, awesome, enjoy the chocolate. The next meal, just pick back up where you left off with your meal plan. And people who've been successful, black and white thinkers, in changing and going to the gray and getting really comfortable with that have seen massive success. So If you're the person that needs to get it perfect, then I invite you to not be so perfect and to live in that grain, to give yourself a fighting chance when you make mistakes, because we all make them. Number three, your identity. I love this concept where Tony Robbins says the strongest force in the human personality is the need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. So, what does this mean? We all have a subconscious identity based on your current patterns and past attempts at being consistent. And so the brain will always remember, like mine did, all the times when I did not succeed in being consistent. And so when I would think about starting again, my brain would go, but you can't do it. You're not consistent. You're not disciplined. You're not committed. You're not focused. It would tell me all of those things. And it really would make me procrastinate. No, maybe I'm not like those people. Maybe I really can't do this. Maybe I'm not dedicated and disciplined. Why do I keep trying and punishing myself? So, whatever the subconscious voices are that are talking to you about how you are in life, whatever follows I am, it isn't it isn't you specifically. It's just a memory that your subconscious has of what you've done or accomplished or did not accomplish in the past. But this is the most important thing. It was in the past. And we can take where you are today and change the narrative. And it's actually necessary. It's very necessary to change the narrative. We don't have to listen to that loud subconscious voice that says that we can't do things. It will come up. We can't stop the subconscious mind from bringing that stuff up. But what we can do is we can manage it when it does come up. For me, it was just very judgmental about myself. And I knew that with that identity, I could not get to a place where I was moving forward. And I had a deep desire more than ever to make this work. And so, where my identity at the time was that I wasn't disciplined and I can't do it, I'm not like them, I needed to change that. So, I did. And I created new thought processes so that I could manage this. And I became a warrior and started telling myself that I deserve this. And not only that, I will succeed. When my brain was saying, you're going to fail, no, I will succeed. I am disciplined. I am committed, focused, strong, capable, and consistent. All of those things. I can be all of those things. And there might be some of you here watching this who are like, okay, yes, I get all of that, Tracy. But when I say those things, I don't believe them. So it's great to say them, but what about for those who don't believe that? First of all, I want you to know you're not alone. That going through this process of changing our identity to be somebody who actually succeeds in what it is that we want to do isn't easy. And guess what it takes in order to start believing it? Consistency. So I offer you two suggestions here. For those of you that are like, I don't believe it though, and you want to so badly, you want to feel it, but when you say it, it's just not quite there yet. So this is what I offer you. In the beginning, start saying it like this. I'm beginning to see that I'm the kind of person that will succeed. Or I'm becoming somebody who is disciplined. I am becoming somebody who is committed. And the more you have consistency in doing your routine, your workout routine, whatever it may be, it might be a walk around the block consistently every day. Doesn't matter as long as you're doing something consistently. The more you do that, the more evidence you're going to have of these I am statements being true. The only reason why you have limiting I am statements like I did is because we have evidence of it being true. If I was to say to you, well, give me an example of when you weren't strong. Is that true? Really? Is that true? You would more than likely be able to give me an example. You go, yes, it is true. And here's the reason why. And so when you have a legit piece of evidence that makes a disempowering I am statement true, then that is proof that what we need is for you to create a different narrative. which means you would need to put things into action and to be taking those steps so that the new narrative would be like, are you strong? Are you really strong? Give me an example of when you were strong. And you go, because I didn't want to get up this morning and I freaking got out of bed and I went around the block. I didn't really want to. My brain was telling me to stay in bed, but I got up anyway. Only strong people do that. And I would go, hell yes. That's what you do if you don't remember, if you don't believe your I am statements. I am becoming the kind of person who is committed. Just say that because it's true. And the more action you put in place of it being true, the more you will believe it. And then another option that you have for this is if you have evidence from the past of these things being true. So again, I ask you, well, Tracy, I don't believe it. I don't believe I'm committed and focused and strong. I used to be, but I'm not now. Okay, so if you do have evidence of being strong and disciplined and committed and all those things in the past, then you still have it within you. It is within you. It's just buried under a bunch of stuff that's happened since then. So what I would invite for you to do is to take a look back and say, what was going on in my life? How did I feel back then when I was all of those things? And what was I doing? How did I get back into the rhythm of that? And kind of just engage back into that person that you were back then, because they're still there. And we're going to call on them as like your alter ego to come inside of you now. And we're just going to unlock, the empowering beliefs about yourself and allow for the disempowering self-talk to slowly disappear. Number 4, celebrate. Celebrating is so important. In the first 90 days, it's just really important for your brain to view your fitness routine as something that is good. But lots of times what happens is the brain doesn't see it as good because it's something new. And anything that's new or challenging or it sees as a change, the brain is going to not like. And it's going to cause for you to have urges to not do that thing, which is another reason why consistency is so important. Because once it becomes a habit, once you do it for 90 days and it's a habit, then your brain's on board. And it's like, oh, I see, I'm on board now. I see what you've been doing consistently. Therefore, let's go. Let's continue to keep doing it. But until those 90 days, what your brain will be paying attention to is if you are finished with the workout or you finish walking around the block, you get off the Peloton, whatever it is that you're doing in that moment, celebrate yourself. And it could just be something as little as great job. I used to go, great job, Tracy. Every time I left the gym, from the time I walked out of the door until I got to my car, I go, good job, great job, good, outstanding, fantastic. You freaking did it. You're a warrior. You are focused. You are committed. And yeah, I'd say it in my head a lot, or at least I have a small whisper, because there were people, but you can say it loud. You could not care. You can say it to yourself just as long as you say it, because your brain really needs to know. And when you're celebrating, it activates the reward system in your brain. And when the reward system is activated, then it's what it looks for is, okay, what was happening right before the celebration and the reward system being activated? And it will know that, oh, you were in the gym, or you were moving your body, or you were doing your push-ups, or whatever it may be. And then it starts relating that, oh, push-ups, good. Gym, good. Because you are celebrating and making it see that the reward system is activated, and it will make it a lot easier for you in the first 90 days. So however you celebrate, do that and be really nice to yourself. It'll help along the way. Number 5, use empowering language. So a lot like identity, when we say, I am, I am, I am. What's also really important are these little words that we naturally use on a daily basis and don't even think about them. Think about it. We use words such as, oh, I tried, or I should do this, or I have to go to the gym, or I need to work out, or I'm going to go do this, but it will be hard. We think we're just describing things. But really, again, our brain pays attention to the words that come out of our mouths, or even if it's just a thought that we're having, the brain pays attention. And then it emits emotions accordingly. So, a little trick that has big impact is anytime that you hear yourself saying these words, I should, I have to, I need to, it will be hard. Well, I tried. In that moment, immediately say the sentence again and replace it with I will, or I get to, I want to, I choose to, I can't wait to, I'm excited to. And I challenge you right now for you to pick something on the left. Let's say have to. And I want you to say a sentence right now about your fitness routine, whatever you're going to decide to do. Like, I'm going to do the Peloton, or I'm going to walk around the block, or I'm going to do push ups, or I'm going to do aerobics, or whatever it may be, Pilates, kickboxing. And say, I have to do that thing. Go ahead. I have to go to the gym. Ew, just even like saying that doesn't even sound good. Now say it again and instead say, I get to go to the gym, or I get to, or I want to. Go ahead. That little word, one little change from I have to I want to. You get an instant change in how you feel about it, right? It's almost instant and it's very impactful. So be aware of the thoughts that you have or the words that you're saying when you're talking to your friends or your family and you're like, hey, I gotta go. I have to go to the gym. And you will say it. You'll say it a lot. You'll say I have to and I need to because it's so easy. It just rolls off the tongue because we've said it for so long. It's okay. Just notice it when you do. And when you notice it, change it. So when you say to your husband, I have to go to the gym now, in that moment, go, you know what? No, I want to go to the gym now. And you will immediately feel different about it. I promise you. Another little trick is the night before, say you're doing your fitness routine in the morning. The night before, start telling yourself while you're nestled in bed, getting ready to turn off the light and go to sleep, I can't wait to do my routine tomorrow. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't wait to be fit forever. I can't wait. This is going to be so exciting. I'm so excited. And then when you wake up the next day, your alarm's going to go off and your brain's going to go, just stay in bed. It's okay. It's nice and cozy here. It's nice and warm. Sorry, that it will happen. No matter how much we say how excited we are, that will happen. But what it does is it allows for, when the brain wakes up in the morning, it goes, oh, just snooze a little bit longer. Thing. Okay. So when it says just snooze a little bit longer, then you will remember, because you said it was the last thing you said before you went to bed, that I'm excited and I can't wait to, and I choose to, and I want to. It'll come up a lot faster for you. So you're able to stop those thoughts a lot faster than you did before. So this is your default brain, which is the, oh, just stay in bed. And it's the have to, need to brain against the conscious brain, which are the thoughts that we create for ourselves, the thoughts that beat out those old default brain phrases and words that are disempowering. So pay attention and then shift it. And then finally, number 6 is to find a support system. I mean, it could be one person, it could be family, friend, a coworker, a coach, a support group of some kind. But having a support system is really great for accountability. And when you find that person or those people, share your why with them. Share with them all of the notes that you took from this workshop. Actually, let them go through it with you. Maybe have them go through it with you. Do it together. And then decide how you want them to support you. Do you want them to email you every day, to say, "Hey, how was your workout?" Do you want them to text you? Do you want to text them every day? What would that look like? How specifically? And be really clear with them, because the support system may think you're just good if you're not texting, but let them know, hey, if I'm not texting, you text me and check up on me, because I might be procrastinating like it was, and you just really don't want to do that. So those are the 6 steps in creating motivation. What I want to show you finally is what's the fit forever formula. Because it's not just this whole consistency. Remember, this is just 90 days that we were talking about, the first 90 days, consistency only. Just show up for yourself for the first 90 days without any other goals. You will lose weight, you will see results, but it's not the results in the first 90 days that we're looking for. Simply consistency, so that the brain has a habit created. And then after the 90 days, you're going to start to feel a lot more motivation. You're going to start to feel like it's wrong if you don't go do these things, that fit forever kind of mentality. Now, let me show you what this looks like. Because sometimes life happens, right? I mean, life happens, and sometimes we get out of the routine. And when we get out of the routine, then sometimes it's easy just to quit forever. Or, start and stop, start and stop. This was me. Okay, this is what it looks like for the first 90 days. Set a goal of showing up. Focus on your why. Live in the gray. Create an empowering I am my identity. Celebrate. Use empowering language and create a support system. Can you do that for 90 days? I know you can. And remember what I was saying just a minute ago about when life happens? Okay, so life happens. Maybe say, for example, something keeps you away from the gym. Maybe there's I don't know, a pandemic. I mean, not that that would happen, but just say, for example, there was a pandemic where everything is shut down in the United States and the world for a long period of time. I mean, it seems very far-fetched, but it could happen. So let's just say that did. And you're out of the gym for months at a time. And it's so easy to not go back now, because I've had all this time to just lounge around and emotionally eat for all of that time. And it's so hard to go back. And then we go, oh, see, there's that word. Tracy told me not to say it's so hard, but I just don't even really care because my energy's so low now. And it could be a pandemic, or it could just be life. So many things could happen. But when you're fit forever, what you do is say, it doesn't matter how long I've been away. It doesn't matter, because I know how to get back into it again. I know that I just need to get consistent again. So for the first 90 days, I'm going to set a goal of consistency. And then I'm going to focus on my why. And I'm going to live in the gray and create an empowering identity and celebrate, use empowering language, and create a support system. This is the Fit Forever formula, where we stop judging ourselves, that we do the best that we can for as long as we can. And then something may happen and we go, okay, I had to step out. Something really did come up that was more of a priority, a legit thing. Make sure it's a legit priority thing. And if so, you just say, it's okay, because I know how to get back in. I know what I will be doing forever, is allowing for me to not feel so pressured, but instead to know that it's super important that I take care of myself. Because when I'm taking care of myself and I have fitness and I feel healthy, then I know I can handle everything else. So there's the thing that I just need to take this time. It may happen, and do it. Take the time and then jump right back in, because that's how we stay fit forever. It's not having to stay fit and never having to deal with something stressful in our life ever again. It's just about trusting yourself that you will get back at it. The question is not, are you capable? The question is, do you believe that you can? You have what it takes to be fit forever if you choose to believe that you can. So I encourage you to use this fit forever formula for yourself, just starting with the first 90 days. Keep showing up. Just keep showing up. And if you have questions, you can DM me. You can find me at any of these social channels. You can email me. You can text me. And if you want, we can even jump on a call and we can go through all of the 6 steps in creating the formula for you. If you're interested, I also have some courses that goes into more depth in habit creation. It's called Habit Slayer, change your brain, change your habits, change your life. Goes and you can talk about anything in this course. It doesn't have to just be a fitness routine. It's any habit that you want to break or create for yourself. It goes into a lot more detail. It's self-paced and it's a really amazing course. And then I have the How to Live Your Best Life Over 40 course, which is super fun and a really good thing. I had a group of girls who all bought the course and then went through it together. So I thank you very much for being with me today. I look forward to hearing any of the stories that you have in order to be fit forever. Have an amazing rest of your night, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.